one of my favorite things that I learned yesterday at the footage presentation was that your haircut was copied from Ezra Miller in Fantastic Beasts.
I know.
So, has he seen
Beg,
it?
borrow, or steal. I feel like it's the life of an actor. He's definitely seen my hair like this, yeah. I mean, the thing is that in the end, of course, it was its own thing. I have different hair. It's sort of like curly and messy in the film, whereas his was really quite short and darker, and there are differences in the end, but yeah.
What does he think?
He has inspired me in many ways over the years, and that was one example of it, yeah.
So this is, I guess, probably your most kind of action-y role to date?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So was that difficult to slip into?
No, I mean, sometimes you think something new is going to be, I don't know. Yeah, you could see how, I suppose, it's just one of those things you don't find out. You can't know if you'll be into it or not until you try it, kind of, you know. But to me, it's a lot like, have you ever boxed?
No.
Well, because, you know, girls aren't generally reared to be fighters, you know, you don't really know what that punching a bag or indeed a person would be enjoyable. And when I first boxed, I thought, oh my God, I have like a lot of pent-up aggression, you know what I mean? Because I took to it. I really enjoyed the feeling. And the stunts, it was a similar thing. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy swinging off the side of a spaceship upside down with all the blood rushing to my head and everything, but it actually turned out to be just so much fun to do.
So did you learn to do boxing for this movie?
Oh, no, I just... Yeah,
just for fun?
Yeah, just for fun.
All right. Can you tell me about what your favorite stunt was to do?
Yep. Nope. I'm trying to figure out how I could tell you this without giving anything away. It just involved being like really up high on a wire and then being lowered down really quickly and then running, and then being lifted up again. And even then I feel like nervous I've given too much away. But that was really, really fun. But they were all fun. Like, I couldn't get enough of that stuff.
So what is it like to work with the neomorphs? First of all, what are they exactly? Are they just all CG, or is there like puppets involved or anything?
I don't like, this is again, I'm so tight-lipped and boring, but like, I don't like to give away the movie magic stuff a little bit because I think it's so much scarier when you don't know how it was done. But we did have an amazing team. I mean, we saw images of every creature we were going to be dealing with beforehand and little puppety versions of them and stuff. And then there were amazing stuntmen who would act out a lot of it. Actually, it's very similar to how I worked on Fantastic Beasts, so that was quite familiar to me. You know, these are directors smart enough to know that the more practical stuff the actors have to deal with, the better. You know, you're not going to look at something moving the same way you're going to look at a stick with an X on the end. So it's better for the performers if you have something real for them to be responding to, even if it is, in fact, a man crawling on all fours or something. But so, yeah, it was a kind of a combination of different things.
Okay. So I know, obviously Ripley from Aliens is an inspiration for this project, and, Elizabeth Shaw from Prometheus. But what other action heroes did you kind of look to as inspiration for this role?
Do you know, I didn't. I mean, I have, definitely a deeper, much bigger respect for action heroes now than I did before I made this movie, because I understand really what it takes to do a lot of physically demanding stuff and maintain the story in the character throughout that. You know, you can't go flying off the side of a ship and suddenly become Katherine in that moment. You have to. It is a challenge to stay in character in those moments where you feel physically vulnerable. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that I really focused on in preparation for this wasn't really that action stuff. It was more character stuff that actually led me to think. I read a lot of Carl Sagan, and for some reasons, for some reason, some of Joan Didion's work was really useful for me when I was working on this. So it's not always so obvious or like a direct link as that, as like watching other action performers to help get into a character, you know.